Hi everyone, how you doing? Thank you for joining me again on another Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? Yeah, it is Wednesday. As always, on Wednesdays we work on our learning management system with Laravel, Livewire, and Filament. And because I always mess up that line, I wrote it right here. Oh, what am I moving now? What is going on? I think I messed up OBS. Hold on. I did a boo-boo. Hold on 1 second. Fixing. And I think that's it. Well, what a start, huh? So yeah, I always mess up the line where what the stream is. So yeah, here it is. But this is the agenda for today. Thank you for joining me again on the stream. And what we are doing today is all about subscriptions. If you haven't seen the video I did separately about the subject with Cashier, you can watch it after the stream. I'll try to I'll make sure to put a link in the description once we are done. But what we are going to do is pretty much the same thing, but applied to this project. And also, of course, we are going to write a few tests, like maybe 2 or 3 tests to make sure it works. We're going to start with the pricing page tests. So we're going to cover the tests first, and then we're going to move on to the visual aspect, creating a pricing page. We need to modify the navigation component, because the way that I want to handle the authentication, it's guest users can see the pricing page, and on the navigation part I want to keep a sign in button if you're not signed in, and the join premium button, it's always going to be visible whether you are. The only scenario where the button is going to be hidden is after the user subscribes. So we are going to make a check after we're done with the tests and everything else. We're going to make a check that when the user is subscribed to any price, we can hide that join premium button. And we're going to provide a billing link so that the user can also manage their billing information, payment method, invoicing, etc. That is all Stripe hosted, by the way. So we don't need to test that. That's not on our side. All we need to do is provide a link and send the user off. All right, let's get started. So pricing test. In the interest of time, as always, I prepared a few test cases already so that we don't have to write it in screen. We just have to worry about running them and dealing with the errors. And the first test that we're going to run is one that adds a pricing route to our application. So it has a route for the pricing plans. Oh, first of all, let's make sure that everything is running before we begin. And there you go. We have 58. Probably you saw it, but just it's always a good idea. Even though you worked on it before, from 1 minute to the other, something can happen. So always a good idea to make sure that we have that line right there. 58, by the way. That's a lot. It's nice to know that we have everything under control, right? So let me move my face out of the way right here. And now we can start with this test. Save that and run. And right off the bat, let me make this way bigger. Fail asserting, yeah, we're getting a 404 because the route doesn't exist. Let's go ahead and add it. I probably want a component for this page, not just a view. Yeah. So let's copy, which one can we use? One of these, maybe the course list. Yeah, we're gonna need something like that. I'm gonna call it pricing and the route name pricing. Obviously we need a component. We're gonna call it just pricing. Sounds good. Yeah. Let's go with that. So right out of the gate, I'm expecting that component to not exist. Yep, invalid route action pricing because we don't have a component to fulfill that route. So let's create one. I'm going to make a live wire component. Yeah, I think the reason I'm hesitating is because I know the component is simple, so I'm tempted to create a live wire, a volt component. But that's gonna bite me in the ass when I go and test it, because I can't think of a way of mounting a volt component, because a volt component is basically an anonymous class. So if I want to really see, if I want to test that component later, which we should do, then the best route to do that is to create a livewire component with a class and a view. So make livewire pricing. What are you talking about? Oh, it won't let me until the route is, unless, okay, so let's just comment this for now. We could do a use, but I don't think that's gonna work. So let's just comment that out real quick and run that command again. All right, now we have the pricing component. And we can import that here. And it's passing. Good. Now we have a route, and that route is handled by a livewire component, as we do with all of the components in this project. So that's one. The next round of testing, I think I have a file for that already, is for the pricing component itself. Let me close a few things here. So I'm going to run you through this file and each test as we run it. So first thing I did was, I'm going to need a for each method here. The reason for that is I want to, since I'm going to use it on every single test, I want those prices to be in a config file. Why do I want them in a config file? Because I know that all of those IDs that come from Stripe, this is all learnings from my previous experience with Stripe. They have these long IDs that you have to put in different places in your code, and it's just handy to have both the product ID and the price IDs in one configuration file, and then you just use that everywhere. So yeah, we're gonna bring those prices, which is just going to be an array, into this pricing variable. And I hope I'm live. Everything's so quiet in the chat that I'm starting to get worried. Hold on, let me just do a quick check. Yep, everything's fine. I have 5 people in the chat, well, in the stream, but you're also very quiet. Just say hi in the chat so I don't feel lonely. Thank you. And while you're down there, you know what to do? Yeah, that. So back here. Sorry about that. First test. What I want to do is make sure that I can see those Stripe IDs for the pricings that I have, that I'm going to have. I want to see them in the page, because that way I know that whatever action I do after that, communicating with Stripe, then it's going to work. So at the very minimum, I want to see those in the page, not necessarily printed out. If you notice, I'm using assert C, and that looks into the HTML, because those are going to be used in links and routes. And I want to see 3 prices. One price for the monthly subscription, another for the yearly subscription, and one for the one-off lifetime access. Okay, that sounds good. Let me save this and run. Okay, so first problem, we're trying to access array offset on value of type null. Why is that? The configuration array doesn't exist just yet. So let's go ahead and add it. Do that, we're going to need this refers to the file name, and this refers to an entry in that configuration file. So let's start with the file itself. We're going to add it into config, create a new file, call it stripe.php. And here, well, obviously this is a PHP file, so we need to go PHP, open tag, and then just return an array. That array is going to have an entry called prices, which itself is going to be another array. No need for a semicolon there. I do need it here. So what happens with just that? Does the error changes? Okay, so now it's moving on to, I don't have an array, to I do have an array, but there is no monthly key. So for now, let's just do monthly. And let's pretend this is the monthly price ID. And I'm eating that H every time. Okay, how about now? Run previous, and now it's complaining about yearly. So let's add those 2 right away. So we have monthly, yearly, and lifetime. I need commas. Okay, it should pass, I believe. Nope. Oh yeah, now it's complaining because obviously we still are not showing that in our page. So we have to go into the view and make those changes. This is in pricing.blade.php, which is the view for our component. A good traveler has no fixed plans and it's not intent upon arriving. Deep. So let's, what do we do here? Let's just add 3 links. The href. For now, let's just do hashtag. And then here we can display the IDs. So I'm probably going to need like a prices array in the component. So let's go with prices. Prices or pricing? Let's go with pricing. Get some kind of naming convention. Pricing monthly. Aha. And this would be monthly. Doesn't matter, that text right there, to be honest. Let's create 2 more. And finally, lifetime. Now it's going to complain because that variable doesn't exist in my component. Yeah, undefined variable pricing. So let's go to the pricing component inside app livewire, and let's define a public array pricing. And on public function mount, we are going to grab the value. Well, hold on. Don't get ahead of yourself. We have a variable. So what now? Undefined array key monthly. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. Now I can say pricing, or this pricing equals config stripe pricing. Pricing or prices, I keep forgetting. Prices. So let's go with pricing again. Naming conventions are good. If you do it one way, do it that way across the board, or you might get confused later on. So we get this from config, so that should be it, right? Perfect. So what next? We can see things in the page. Pricing page test, subscription test. I think we can move to, I think we can just mark that. And we can work on, yeah, the next test. Why am I doubting? I mean, I already have everything written down. Just keep going. Pricing test. So yeah, this one's done. Next one. I want to be able to, as I said before, if you're a guest, you can go into the pricing page and see the pricings. But in order for you to check out Stripe and Cashier by extension, or actually Cashier, requires a logged in user. So you can't press that button and the functionality should be like this. You see the pricing, sorry, you see the pricing and you see the button and you click on it. If you're logged in, and you should be logged in, then you're taken to the Stripe checkout page hosted on Stripe, complete the payment and then go back to our website. And the user should be subscribed at that point. And we're going to enable the webhooks in just a second. But if you're a guest, you can go into the pricing page, you see the pricing and you click on the button to buy now. What happens is I want the user to I want to take them first to the registration page specifically, because if they're not registered, then they will register right there and then they go back to home, which I have to modify because right now they're going to dashboard, I think. Anyway, they are logged in, registered and logged in, and then go back to the page, and then they have to go back to the pricing page and click on the button again, and then they can buy the subscription. That's how it works on pretty much all of the sites that I've seen. So what I want to test here is that I get redirected to the register page when I'm not signed in. And also, if you're a member already and you get to the register page, you can just click on I'm already a member, click on sign in, and then you sign in. Again, this is common practice as far as I can see. So redirects to the register page when not signed in. So I'm just mounting the component here. I'm calling the checkout action, which I have to create. It doesn't exist yet. And I'm pretending to do a checkout with this monthly pricing. So this checkout route or action is going to take this parameter. It's going to take the plan, basically the price of the plan. And then I'm going to assert that when I do that, I get redirected to the register page. Simple enough. All right. Unable to call component method. We don't have a checkout method on the component, clearly. So go back to the pricing component and let's add public checkout, public function checkout. And this is going to receive the plan. This is going to be a string. Pricing ID. Okay, method is there. What next? Okay, this error kind of threw me off than the first time I see it, but if you read further down, you'll see the actual error. First, it says, fail asserting that an array has the key redirect. Sure, what array? But you read the line before and it just says component did not perform a redirect, and also down here says the same thing. Apparently it's doing like an assert has key redirect somewhere, but basically we called the action and no redirect took place. So now I could just say return redirect or redirect and be done with it, but let's do this instead, because the idea is that if you're a guest, then if you're not signed in, then you are redirected. So let's say if out guest then we redirect to the URL, which is register. I think that's it. Maybe not. Oh, I thought there was a guess method. If you spell it out right, of course there is. Good. So now, okay, we have that out of the way. The last test is the one that I kind of had to think on it for a while until I read the documentation, the Laravel documentation about Cashier and testing. And I can show it to you if you want. If you scroll all the way down here, you see the testing area. It took me a while to find this, but yeah. Why is it so not centered? Why are you being weird? Come on. There, 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 and there. Okay. So, testing. Basically, when testing an application that uses Cashier, you may go this route. You may mock things, mock HTTP requests, and mimic the functionality of Cashier. But then again, you're just remaking or recreating the functionality of Cashier that happens behind the scene. So what they recommend is allowing your test to hit the Stripe API. And I kind of had to stand there for a second, but it makes sense. When you are working on testing mode, because this should be done on testing only, and I'm guessing if you have a Stripe account and you move out of testing and you activate your account, you still have access to a testing environment on Stripe. So it makes sense that even though it is lower, you just let it hit the Stripe API on testing and perform whatever action or method that you need, and just test the results and just focus on what are you doing once all of the Stripe things have happened. What are you doing then? So you focus on your application, the things that you have control over. And you don't need to test Cashier again, because Cashier works. You don't need to test that it works. And you don't need to test whether Stripe works or not, because again, it works. What you need to do is, okay, once I have a subscribed user, what do I do? What things are as a subscribed user allowed to do, what things a subscribed user is not allowed to do, or a guest, something that is not subscribed, what can they see and what can't they see. So that's the things that those are the things that you should test, not focus on the functionality that we know collectively that works. So with that in mind, we're going to do this in a second, because at this point we are going to need to install Cashier. So this is the test that I come up with, and you can fight me on this one, because even though it works and I have a passing test, you may or may not have better ideas. So if you have a better idea on how to test this functionality, how to make sure that we can hit the Stripe API and get a good result, and in the context of this project, just go down in the comments, let me know. I am open to suggestions, but for now, this is the test that I come up with, and basically it's just a test for me to know that I can create subscriptions. So all I'm doing is create a new user. I'm grabbing the product ID. This doesn't exist yet. So I'm grabbing that product ID, and then once you install Cashier and you configure the user model, you have access to this method, which is new subscription. Why am I doing this? Is because in a real scenario, the user will click on a button, they will go off-site to the Stripe hosted checkout page, and they will do their thing there, provide credit card, any other information that they need, and then check out there, and all we get back is a user with a subscription in the database, and they get redirected to the success page, whatever page that is. But the result in any case is a subscribed user. So what I'm doing is I'm using one of their testing visas or testing credit cards or payment methods that they supply so that you can do this on testing. And I'm just saying, create a new subscription with this product, with this price, and use this credit card. Now, when I do it like this, without webhooks, this method will take care of synchronizing the user with a new subscription, something that will happen in a real scenario with a webhook. But I'm not going to test the webhooks because that's not something that we need to test. All I need to know is that when all of that happens, I expect the result of this subscribed method, which again is provided by Cashier. I expect that the user is subscribed to that product and to that price. So this will return true. And I'm going to use that across my application to check for what do I show and what do I hide. That's it. Again, may not be the perfect solution. If you have a better one, I'm all ears. But this is how we are going to do it right now. So at this point, we don't have a new subscription method, which means we don't have a billable trade, which means we don't have Cashier. So it's time to install Cashier. I'm gonna go with the documentation route, and you should too. So installation right here, composer require, Laravel Cashier. Okay. It's done, and as recommended, we need to also publish the migrations. Ooh, I'm gonna need to, well, not now, but I'm going to refresh. I'm going to have to refresh the database completely when we move on to the actual visuals of the page. So keep that in mind. So copy this. Copy and paste. We don't care about that right now because tests always refresh the database, so this will be fine. We get new migrations, and let's also publish the configuration file. We're not going to do this. This will be taken care of by the test cases. Where is the config? Here. Okay, Cashier is installed. Now, if I run the test again, it's still going to fail because we are missing still one step. We need to go to the user and add the billable trait. Let's run this one more time. I think I'm still missing the price ID, but we'll cover that in a moment. And at this point also, because we are going to let this hit the Stripe API, we are going to need to replace the values on that configuration file, definitely going to break the previous test because we were working with test values. But now we need the real test values from Stripe in order for this test to work. See, it's hitting it took longer because it's trying to contact Stripe. And the response was no such price. Okay, good. That's a good fail. So now let's go over to Stripe. Make sure you use your own account as always. And let's grab the prices. Product catalog. I'm going to use the same product that I used for my other video so that I don't have to create anything else. Let's start with the prices. And it was complaining about the monthly one. So let's copy this one and go back here. And into the Stripe configuration. But at this point, I think it will be a good idea to, instead of using the actual price here, let's grab it from the .env file. And let's call it Stripe price monthly. Pricing conventions. Let's do the same for this too as well. So let's add these three lines to our .env file. Oh, I already had them. Cool. Okay, cool. So I even have the product. This is probably from the rehearsal that I was doing earlier today. So I named them incorrectly, so pricing. But yeah, I already have those price IDs. Imagine that I did that, went to the Stripe dashboard, copy everything and put it here. So now everything comes from our .env file. And let's see what happens with the test, if there is any errors. Integrity constraint violation. Subscriptions type. What are you missing here? Where's the type? Connection. First thing. So it's not sending the type. Oh. wait. The configuration, I think that has to do with the configuration file not having a product entry. So we have the pricings, but we don't have the product. We have it in the .env file, that's fine. We have it, but we don't have it in here. So see, there's only pricing, there's no product. Forgot about that. So let's add one entry here, product. And let's make that env. Copy it from here and paste it. Looks good. Run that again. Awesome. So again, repeating what I said before. Might not be perfect, and if you have a better one, have a better idea on how to do that test or any other tests that you think will be necessary, let me know. Go down there, leave your comment. I always read them. But for now, we know that once we create a subscription, be it with the new subscription, or even if we do it the other way around, the long way around with webhooks, the user will be subscribed. And we can move on to prettier things. I think we can now start working on the actual visuals of the website. How much time do we have? About 15 minutes. So let's see how much we can cover. Let me open a website. First, let me start Vite, of course. And I'm going to need to refresh the database. Do I have a seeder? Let me check on the seeder first. Make sure that I don't mess up too many things. Database, migration seeder, database seeder. This will create a course with some episodes and the user. Should be fine. Yeah. Let's quickly, because we installed Cashier, let's refresh everything. Migrate fresh, seed. Now I can open it in the browser. Good. Yeah, let's work on this navigation. As I said before, I want this to, instead of saying sign in, I want it to say join premium, and next to it, if you're a guest, as I am right now, you should say sign in. So to do that, we need to open there is a navigation component inside resources, views, Livewire layout, and let's see. Right now we have, this is the drop down. Is this for mobile or for, I think it's for desktop. Let's see. So when you're authenticated on this section here that says auth, you see your profile, your links, everything. So what I want is, in the case we're guests, Let's take this primary button out of here. And when you're a guest, instead you're going to see, let's say, an xnav link. I think we have one of those, right? We should have a bunch of components from Breeze, and one of them is a nav link. So this nav link is going to take me to the register page. Actually, you don't need, since this is a library component, you don't need the brackets. You can just say route register. Register or sign in or login. Should be, if it says sign in, let's just go to the login page. And then the button is going to say join premium. Good, almost. I like it that I can hover over it. That's fine, but it's flat next to the button, and I don't like that. Let's change that. This here, the container is a flex container on small devices and onward. Item center, that's fine. I need a gap. So SM gap. Let's go with 2. Better. Yeah, I like that. So when you're not signed in, it shows sign in and it takes you to the login page. And when you come back, you see your name and you have links to your profile, and not too long in the future, your billing as well. We later on, once we have a real subscribed user, we're going to hide this button. So if you're subscribed, you don't need to see this button, but for now it's going to stay there. Now, what does this look like in small? I don't like that. This button should be centered, and I can't see the sign in either. There's no sign in. Well, it says sign in. I need the same thing. So basically, I'm going to put this to the side right here. Maybe I can just make this smaller. Yeah. Let's do it like this. So let's look for the other drop down, the responsive one. And this is the auth part. And then there's the guest. So I'm guessing I'm gonna need something like this. What does this look like? Margin top, space Y1. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna copy this whole thing, and I'm gonna put it down here. Instead of showing the name, I don't need the name. And I just want to show one responsive nav link that is going to take me to login. It's going to say sign in. This I can get rid of. Or I can get rid of that, move the button up there, like so. And then the guest part, It's only for the sign in button. Well, should be for everything. No, it's not for everything. See, what's going to happen is I'm going to have two sections. One for when you're authenticated and then one for you're a guest. But when you're a guest, then you see the navigation link and the sign in button. But if you are signed in, you're just going to see the button, which again, we're going to hide later. So let's try that. Okay, like it, almost there. Button needs a different, is to say join premium. And I have to center it. Plus, it's flat on the side. I don't like that. Maybe if we give the container some padding. Maybe 2. Don't like that the sign-in moves too. What if I were to just take this button out of this container then? And just give... Who do I give the padding? The top one? No. Hold on, let me try something. First of all, let's make that button full width. Okay, that's fine. The padding is the thing I don't like. This needs padding. Maybe just wrap this in another div. Okay, better. So yeah, the sign in, I want that sign in to be flat against the side, not the button. And that text has to be centered. Why is it not centered? Let me check what that button component looks like real quick. Primary button. So it's a flex, but it's an inline flex. Item center. I guess if we say, let's say flex call, maybe. Yeah, that did it. Okay, I like that. So when you're not signed in, you get the option to do so. If you're signed in, you're gonna get your email and all the information here and a couple of links to profile, later on billing, and then you have the join premium, and that's going to go away. This whole div is going to go away once you are subscribed. Okay, cool. And right now this takes me to nowhere. So that button should take me to the pricing page. Where is it? Here. Should be a link. But if I make it a link, it's not going to look like a button. So let's just call an action. This is a navigation component, so we can just do an action here. Can I do a redirect right here? Can't. Well, that's not the button that I was looking for. It's this one up here. Still nothing. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. All right, that's something for another day. I'll have these links working when you next join me next week. And next week we are going to take care of, we did this. We're going to take care of the billing link. We are going to show join premium button to guest. I guess that's taken care of, but we're going to take care of the join button of the, we're going to take care of the premium, join premium button specifically. And we're going to add a link for the billing. We're going to complete the whole process. I'm going to add the same page that I added to my other project for the chat, not for the chat, for the, yeah, that other video for the pricings that I did. I'm going to have the same page, basically the same design. It's going to be a component. That's the only difference. That's going to be a liveware component, but I'm going to have that into this project, and we're going to go through the whole process of checking out, seeing the user come back, being subscribed, everything moving around. So it's going to be a good episode next week. So stay tuned, and don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Come on, do it. Come on, there you go. See you guys.